For a Patreon reward, you could have someone come in on Zoom to join in on a real talk. A Zoom real talk.
Oh, yeah.
For like a higher tier.
That'd be cool. That's a good idea, Lexi. I'm gonna try to milk money out of someone using that idea. I'm kidding. I love all my patrons.
$50 a month for Zoom.
Yeah, $50 a month, and you could join in the real talk episode for 5 minutes.
Probably just like a
$10 for every minute.
Yeah, it ain't tough.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna charge that much to have him guest star. Ready?
I'm
3,
taller.
2.
Proper.
I think I'm taller.
Defeat.
That's sad.
I know. I'm gonna die first, because height has something to do with that. Probably, maybe.
Tall people
I'd
live
probably
shorter
just-
lives.
My torso.
I figured.
You probably get your height from your legs.
What do you mean? I've got the longest torso on the entire planet. In the beginning, in 3, 2, 1. Ah, got it. That's our clapperboard.
Ah.
My PTSD is flashing back, much like the PTSD that John Walker suffers from. Hey, oh, what a great transition. We're here for episode... I don't remember what episode of Real Talk this is.
Real Talk.
This is the Real Talk podcast with Christian J and friends. And here I've got two friends. For my friends, I've got Lexi Rimjob and Caden Kyle Kirby. Don't think about his initials, but that's his actual name.
Look him up on Facebook.
Anyways.
You'll love it. You'll love what you find.
Any hoodles. So we're here to discuss all sorts of entertainment. And recently, well, not really recently, we've kind of been behind on this one, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier wrapped up.
Yeah.
But a little bit more recently, Invincible wrapped up. That's still a little bit behind on that one, but you know, it's fine. The memes are making it relevant right now. Like a meme that I literally uploaded at 3 in the morning because I couldn't sleep, and I was like, hey, here's this idea. So yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're gonna talk about that show because we've got some thoughts and stuff. So yeah, want to just go through it like episode by episode? Try to remember. Which episodes. I feel like there's only 6 episodes, so it wasn't too hard to figure out. Oh, by the way, this video isn't sponsored by Arizona Tea, but like it should be. It should be. Apparently, you just ask them for a sponsorship, and they'll be like, "Yeah, we'll do it," or "No, we won't."
I know.
So.
I remember when you found that.
Yeah, so like,
you should ask.
I should ask.
SpongeBob YouTuber sponsored by Arizona.
Arizona Tea. They don't breathe water; they breathe Arizona tea.
It's brown.
Well, okay. So to say that this show is comparable to WandaVision is quite hard. They're two very different shows.
Yeah, I remember when the show was about to come out, you and I in particular...
We had low expectations.
Very low expectations.
And exceeded my expectations.
Yeah,
same here. We were both in the same train of thought of like, oh man, this show is just going to be more of the Marvel checklist sort of stuff where it's like just big action, you know, set piece after set piece and whatnot. But it was a lot more emotional than that and more character-driven than I expected it to be, which I really, really appreciated because I'm glad I was wrong about this one because I really didn't expect much from it.
Yeah, it was really good. Captain America and the Winter Soldier 2. That's what it is.
Heck yeah.
They gave more, like the whole point was to give more background to these characters that people like loved, like, you know, Sebastian Stan. That's
like they get like the little inklings of like the characters throughout the movie, but ultimately they're kind of just like sidelined through Steve Rogers' adventures now, and so here they are, both kind of struggling to bring themselves up to the front lines and be like a more prominent character and whatnot, and I really dig that. What? Stucky. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Is that what it is? Stucky?
Stucky?
Not Beeve.
I feel like Beeve would be better.
Beeve.
But no, yeah, it was way better than I thought it was gonna be.
I remember texting you after the first episode being like, yo, what'd you think about it? I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. And
the first episode is good, but I feel like it is very slow.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very like typical first episode where you're kind of setting up your pieces and whatnot. But
which isn't bad, but
I feel like it was interesting where they were starting everything off. You know, you've got Sam surrendering the shield to the museum and whatnot, and him kind of going back home to like kind of help out with the family business and whatnot of being shrimp boating company and stuff like that. And I really like the bit with the bank because I just feel like that sort of stuff just fleshes out the world. I know a bunch of fucking neckbeards were pissed off about this sort of thing because they're like, oh, why are they shoving systemic racism down our throats?
how racial the show was. I mean, you can't ignore these problems when you have a black man as the lead.
Exactly, and that's kind of the point of the show, is like him like trying to will himself to step beyond those expectations that both like the common people and even himself will have about a black man taking over the mantle of Captain America. So like I feel like, and all that I think was like the show's like best parts of the show.
I made the whole lot more interesting.
Yeah, honestly, it made like I like Sam as a character beforehand, but this like made me like really connect with him because, you know, like we're actually seeing him struggle. We're seeing his different approaches to handling and diffusing a situation. You know, like Captain America would just like drop onto a cruise liner that's been taken over by terrorists and just drop kick a dude over the edge of the boat. Sam, however, tries to like talk.
Reason.
Try to reason with.
Yeah, he's always been that way, and it's really.
Yeah, and I like that they bring that up and everything, because we never really see that other than like mentioning and that one scene where he's at the support group in Winter Soldier. He's kind of directing that, but we never really see it other than that. But here I feel like we get a pretty good angle on that perspective that he has.
Yeah, he actually like tries to talk to our big bad and like reason with her, but then that just gets like thrown in the garbage by
John Walker.
John Walker, who I think is my favorite character of the entire show.
Incredible written character.
Yes.
The thing about the first episode, though, is that it sets up all this stuff very well, and I really like the stuff with Bucky. I just feel like Bucky's storyline is kind of pushed down, which is fine, because obviously I think it's more of Sam's story.
Yes.
But at the same time, I feel like Bucky's character is not developed near as enough, which I think they might tackle in a later movie or whatever.
Or maybe another season.
That's probably why at the end of the show it doesn't change to Captain America and the White Wolf. It's just Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
So maybe season 2 will end with it being Captain America.
Are they going to have a season 2?
I mean, they said that they're not against the idea.
I just feel like if they're going to have a movie...
Yeah.
Well, if they called the series Captain America or what was it, Falcon and White Wolf, like who the fuck is White Wolf?
Well, White Wolf is... Yeah,
true. Like we know, but like people who like...
general audience people, right. I could see that.
That's mysterious and cool, but like they wouldn't... They'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, that's probably what he's going to take the mantle on next, because he's no longer the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
He's done with that. I mean, he was forced to do that in general.
Right.
He'd rather be called the White Wolf, which is what Wakandans gave him. But yeah, the first episode was good, and then they get into the second episode, which is more of developing John Walker. Especially that first scene with the football.
Which really got me on his side. I really like that, where he's just kind of talking to his wife and Lamar in the locker room, and he's like, dude, like, how am I ever gonna reach these great expectations and fill the shoes of Steve Rogers? I'm just a dude, you know? Mm-hmm. And so that really got me on his side, and it was crazy, like, looking at social media, everyone just bashing the character. I'm like, he's not that bad. He's not that bad. Yet.
At first I was like, okay, you guys are taking it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, this is going like overboard, especially with sending the actor Wyatt Russell death threats.
He got driven off social media.
That's ridiculous. That is insane.
For playing a character
so well too. Like, oh my god, every time you like do that slight little like deadpan head tilt sort of thing, you just see something cracking in him more, and it was great. But
he was a really interesting character.
I think he was. Honestly, that was like my favorite character of the entire show, was like seeing how like he's gonna progress and how he's gonna develop more and more.
How he gets more annoying and
like,
he seems paranoid. Like a fanboy, but then like I don't know, it was interesting because it kind of like dips a toe into the whole like anti-Captain America like storylines from the comics.
Right.
Well, I think. Okay, well, as they were developing John Walker, I think John Walker is like the metaphor and embodiment of like today's like police force.
Yeah. I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Dive into that.
Straight up just say it, like, because I mean you're giving this person so much power who doesn't really have
the capabilities to handle all that. Yeah.
Power.
Contracted by the government.
He abuses his power by killing someone who is not completely innocent at the moment, but like that person.
But someone who's like begging for their life, like asking for mercy and everything.
I mean,
you know?
that scene where he you know,
Decapitation America.
Decapitation America. You know, where he kills the guy is just a straight up like representation of like what we've seen within the past year. With the Black Lives Matter movement. This show came out at an incredible
perfectly timed, yeah. I remember JT mentioning something that he was like, you know, I feel like John Walker is the kind of America that we see a lot of today, and then Sam is more the America that we want to strive for, and the kind of America that we want to see. And
conflict theory versus structural functionalism. My essays.
Class.
That's for sociology.
Lexi making them college papers.
Yeah, that was fun. Had to flip-flop between watching the series and
writing more.
Write my papers about these systemic issues.
Sounds miserable.
Yeah.
But yeah, with John Walker's character, it was developed really well. And then, well, there's also Zemo, which I'll still stand by. I don't think he needed.
Didn't need to be in the show.
He didn't need to be in the show, but he's a great part of the show.
Yeah.
He had a good like third, like just banter or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, like I did like him a lot in this series. But then again, I think his introduction is just like
very shoehorned, where they're like, "Oh, we gotta get Zemo.
That like
we gotta go get that guy."
Yeah.
That added just a little bit into the whole like Winter Soldier story arc.
Yeah.
Like, they brought the Wakandans into it because of it.
Which I think the Wakandans are great.
Yeah, I think that they're pretty good. The scene in Wakanda at the start of episode 4.
Scene.
I think it was at the start of episode 4. Yeah, that scene was...
Sebastian Stan's acting.
They finally gave him something to do in these movies where it's not just like, look confused, sad, or deadpan.
Sebastian Stan's acting, his best acting is when he's just not talking. Like, he really knows how to, like, convey emotions.
And emote, yeah.
You know, the scenes where he's getting tortured as the Winter Soldier, like his screams.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of stuff. Like, he's really good at that.
Which I didn't know till watching this series, that the Winter Soldier theme song is a remix of Sebastian Stan's scream whenever he falls off the train.
Yeah.
And I think you told me whenever he's getting, like, memory wiped and whatnot. Yeah,
that's
cool.
They took a few of his old screams and then, like, repitched it. And that's his theme.
That sort of stuff baffles me. It's so cool. That's such a great attention. Yeah, it makes it so much better, in my opinion. But, yeah, that Wakanda opening scene, like, blew me away, because I'm like, holy crap.
Episode 5 or 4?
I think it was 4, because 5 is like kind of like the character.
That's after.
Where everything's mellowing out and they're like knocking off all the plot points and whatnot, so we just get left with like a big punch out for the final episode.
I think episode 4 and 5 were the best.
For me too, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Just a lot of like character driven stuff, and I feel like what they do with John Walker, they don't necessarily like... They never really show it. Like, they're like, oh yeah, you've got like a PTSD. Like, they mention, like, oh, think of how many more lives we could have saved on that day if we had that super soldier serum. You know, and I like that because it kind of hints that, like, he's got, like, this overlooming guilt, and I'm sure a lot of soldiers do. I mean, you don't get medals of honor for, you know, some, like, just kind of sitting back and, you know, doing your job. It's usually because, like, oh, you were the last man standing in this god-awful situation, or you got horribly wounded and you're making it back and whatnot.
Survivor's guilt.
Yeah, exactly.
And you like, can't look at it like, oh, I could have saved this many more people. You just gotta be like, oh, I saved this many people.
Yeah, and that's obviously not something that he can do, and I feel like that's something that definitely adds that weight onto his shoulders that begin to make him crack and crumble.
Definitely, but... Like I said, he's a very well-written character. I just feel like they, towards the end, they wouldn't really know where they wanted to lead him.
Yeah, I don't like the sudden change of heart at the end.
Because in the last episode,
it doesn't make sense.
He's in this part where he's either I can go after Carly, who I've been trying to go out after this whole time because Lamar,
right?
Or there's this bus that's about to fall off, and so now like. All of a sudden, he's in this point where, like, I can do something good for once. And it just doesn't feel like... Where did he learn that? Like, this whole time, he's just bad.
And, like, literally the scene before, he's, like, lying to Lamar's parents about, like, oh, hey...
Oh, yeah, how he died.
I'm gonna kill the rest of the people that... Or, no, that I did kill the guy who directly killed your son, you know?
He's lying to them. So, like,
yeah.
Where did it... Like, what did he learn to make him change his decision? Rather like, okay, I'm gonna be Captain America now.
Or it was just like a weird little twist.
And I don't think, you know, like even the director of the show said that you're like they wanted it to maybe you could you were supposed to like someone
like him at the end,
like
yeah.
John Walker at the end. Like no, I still don't like him.
There was no like climax or like any good redemption for him.
No, it was just like a very sudden like
it was a drop off.
Yeah, and 180 switch essentially.
Yeah, and that's where they, like I said, they did a really good job setting him up and throughout the show, but like. They didn't really know where they wanted to go towards the end.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see him again, probably, in some other show.
You think it'll be Thunderbolts? Because
apparently... Jail.
Yeah, I mean, he's the U.S. agent now. Which is...
Fucking, like, okay, I guess. He's still under the government contract.
Yeah. But I mean, I wonder where we'll see him again. Maybe in
Civil War 2.
Captain America.
Yeah, maybe. Civil War 2, where it's Iron Man against Captain Marvel.
It's the new heroes.
Or maybe the
Young Avengers.
The Dark Avengers. Is that's?
Yeah. The Dark Avengers is interesting. Actually, you remember the Iron Patriot from Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
That character actually stems from the Dark Avengers because that's whenever Norman Osborn was like, oh. I'm the Green Goblin, but I want people to think that I'm a good guy, so I'm going to publicly take on the mantle of the Iron Patriot. I'm going to create the Iron Patriot so people don't think for a second that I'm possibly the Green Goblin, and so that's where that comes from. And then he bangs Gwen Stacy, and she has twins with Norman Osborn.
Is this part of the Ultimate Universe?
No, this is part of the 616 universe, the main continuity. Yeah. Yeah, no, it sounds like it'd be part of the Ultimate Universe. And Wolverine makes this fucking face.
God, yeah. But anyways, John Walker, great. Think about Zemo and all that stuff. Like I said, it added like some flair to the show, but
he didn't super duper go anywhere.
I mean, I
feel like the biggest thing that he did was destroy the serum.
Yeah, and that was some development. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, was it though? Because like his entire goal was like to end super soldiers like straight from the beginning.
True.
Which I did see a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to take the super soldier serum, but I didn't think for a moment that was going to be the case.
For like a second I might have thought, but...
For being such a huge part of, like, prior movies, he, like, didn't really do much for this.
Yeah. Like he's present for sure. Like, he's got a huge presence, and I feel like that's just part of Daniel Breuer's, like, performance and everything. Well, you know, kind of chewing the scenery.
You got backstory for him, I guess. Like, oh, he's a baron.
Oh, yeah.
With his, like... nearly dead butler who we should really just let retire.
That guy was the best. Like, she loved him.
Yeah, he was such a resident.
Yeah, and he kills like all the other super soldiers at the end with a freaking car bomb.
Yeah.
Just sitting in his car with his clean white gloves and everything, just nuts.
I did think the scene where with Zemo and Bucky, where Bucky has the gun, was really good because like Zemo's like Bucky puts the gun to his face.
Yeah.
And Zemo's like almost like wanting it. He's like, kill me, because he wants to be with his family.
Yeah, and his goal is done essentially.
Yeah,
you know?
He's done what he's done, you know. But then he doesn't come because he's like, no, you just same thing that
I'm better than
Black Panther said in the Civil War. Is like, you must suffer. Or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, the living still have
the living are not done with you.
The living are not yet done with you. That's what it was. Yeah.
But
Those who want me dead.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, so Sharon Carter, we don't need to talk about
I hate that. I hated it. She did not even need to be in the show. She served no purpose, made no impact.
I didn't even know who she was.
I forgot she was even in the show too. You mentioned it just now.
I like barely knew who she was. I kept having to like ask like, who is she? Because she also just looks like half the other actors.
Steve Rogers' great niece that he made out with in Civil War.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk more about the Flag Smashers.
Yeah, because I feel like there's so much that was cut out for them.
Okay, yeah, there is.
I really feel bad for those like performers because the little bits that I did see was like interesting, and I'm like, okay, there's something more here, but it's like cut out.
Did I tell you that there's like obviously a missing plotline with a pandemic in it? Yeah, so there's supposed to be a pandemic going on.
Supposedly, but I'm pretty on board with this idea too. It makes too much sense to not be the case.
Because like this group is like they just didn't talk about what exactly they're going for. But if you pick out some details, you can understand. So basically, when the blip happened, people came back into their homes, so they had to kick people out because new people moved in, right?
Right.
So now these people are just kind of left with no home.
Yeah, they're displaced, and now they're in the camps at that point.
These like refugee camps because they have no place. So these people are sick and they can't get this medicine, this vaccine for this pandemic that's going on. So they're stealing it. That's what's happening in like the second episode.
Yeah.
And that's
because that's why they're like, oh, there's vaccines, medical supplies on here, yada yada yada.
And then the mother, it's not her mother, but like the
Mama Donya or whatever her name is.
She dies due to whatever virus is going on. They say it's like
tuberculosis in episode 4. Yeah.
That was dubbed over.
Yeah, because here's the like biggest piece of evidence that like they got rid of this entire plotline is that in episode 4,
the bad ADR.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really off ADR that just sounds like it's different audio qualities, specifically when the scientist guy is talking about things. But essentially, anytime that someone mentions like vaccines or tuberculosis, the characters are saying it off screen as if they didn't have the time or the opportunity or budget, whatever it was,
because of COVID.
Yeah, to do the reshoots to make them say those specific lines on camera. So instead, they got them to do it through ADR, and they just had it focus on another character while they said that line off camera.
Yeah. So, with all that missing, it kind of makes you feel like less empathy for the Flag Smashers.
Yeah.
You don't really need
because I think it'd be interesting, because like I feel like the entire idea that they were going for is like whenever everyone, like when half the population was snapped away, you know, there was more resources to share around and everything like that. You know, more vaccines to be able to distribute. Then whenever half the population came back, you know,
Seems like Thanos kind of had it.
Yeah, maybe Thanos was kind of right. No. But like whenever half the population came back, suddenly there wasn't enough supplies to cater to everyone. So it was kind of dropped into a class system of like, okay, who can get what first?
Yeah.
Are you looking at my cat humping his stuffed animal because he's a horny freak despite being neutered?
But I think the Flag Smashers were supposed to represent some sort of, you know, like a class system.
Yeah.
Also tying into racism in a way. So that makes Sam and Carly almost relate. But then it doesn't, like, quite develop enough there because of the missing plot lines.
Yeah, there's still that missing puzzle piece that keeps it from, like, really...
If it had it all in there, it would have been flawless.
I think so, too. I feel like the show, like, really does suffer a lot from...
Disney was scared... Because COVID was going on, it was going to be too touchy.
Real. Yeah.
But then again, too touchy. But at the same time, you're talking about the systematic racism, which is very real. But you don't talk about COVID, which is like.
I mean, hell, that's what's happening with like the vaccines now for COVID and everything. Is that it's kind of like being distributed to different sorts of populations based on like the class and
paid for it.
Yeah, and everything. It's insane.
So real, and I think it's cool. And
I think it would have like really hit the nail on the head.
The blip in the MCU is like almost very similar to COVID now because you're having all this stuff happen that's so detrimental and like losing people and all this stuff. It's very similar situations. If the blip happened in real life, imagine how the world would take that. Like, yeah. So I think it's like, you know, and then recovering from something like the blip. I'm glad Falcon and the Winter Soldier tackled the blip details better than Far From Home did.
Right, where they just make it into a joke.
They make it into a joke.
Oh no, the band kids are getting pelted by dodgeballs.
That's the only thing.
What about the people on fucking planes? If they just snap back into existence right where they are?
That's been debunked because
has it?
Hulk said that he makes sure that everyone would be safe when he brought them back. So
no one
died due to the blip.
I guess fuck those band kids then, because I'm sure one of them got a concussion.
No one died due to the blip.
Okay.
Did they come back with the instruments?
Yeah,
yes, they did.
Oh my god.
I wonder what the rules were.
A tube.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense.
If you're making contact with it, it disappears, but then it's like, oh,
so maybe the whole plane disappeared, and then the plane came back. I don't know. But then again, the helicopter at the end of the post-credit scene crashed.
Yeah, those dudes are definitely dead.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just appeared on the ground or something.
Maybe. I don't know. There's some interesting like ways to think about that. But yeah, I definitely feel like the show suffers from the and I feel like the Flag Smashers are definitely the show's weakest link. Which sucks because I'm very intrigued by like what they're doing, but I have no clue what they're trying to pull off in the re-edit or rewrite, whatever the fuck it was.
I mean, if you look into it, it's like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
But if you just watch it from an outsider's point of view, like from more of a Lexi point of view, who doesn't really Lexi's not really in like the Marvel fandom and not really doing the research outside of it.
Right.
She's just hearing it from me.
I've been there. I grew up with this. I know things. I just don't give a shit about Marvel. I care about DC.
Exactly. But no, like because if you're not,
I'm offended.
Lexi's viewing of the Flash movie is pretty much going to be her equivalent to the pilgrimage to Mecca.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you're not doing the outside research of the show, you're going to be very lost. You know, you're not going to know what's happening or really care.
The thing is, like, Marvel's such, like, a general audience type of thing. It's like, if you're doing it to be so specific, then, like, that's just not, you shouldn't go about it that way. Like, they're making a show for general audiences, you shouldn't have to do so much research. Which is
weird, because that's the issue with the show right there, I feel like, is because, like, you know, people generally, I mean, hell, I barely knew what the Flag Smashers' goal was, like I was trying to say earlier. In the last episode, what are they trying to do? I get that they're trying to delay the vote, but, like...
I mean, it's just going to happen anyway.
Yeah, what's that going to accomplish? They're just going to get new people in there, and they're just going to... That's really going to push them to do the vote, which I get, like, maybe from, like, her point of view. She's not going to recognize that.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's literally just like, oh, let's just drive around, fly around New York, causing mayhem, and get fans, for some reason, hoping for a Spider-Man cameo, which would have made no sense. Would have made no sense in that movie, or in that show.
In general, I think Sam's Captain America is great.
I love the suit.
The suit's
awesome.
Suit
looks amazing.
I love him.
Christ.
His speech at the end was so good.
I hate how, again, with people on Twitter just angry neckbeards. Like, it's too on the nose. It's just like, it just goes on too. Yeah, I felt like it was good. I liked
really
it.
Good. Like,
finally
it felt real.
Telling someone off.
Yeah.
Standing up and like,
so well
we haven't even talked about Isaiah Bradley.
I was about to say Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley was such a good part of the show.
I was so glad that he wasn't just like an episode 2 exclusive, because that's what I was worried about. I remember texting you, I'm like, God, this really sucks. It seems like they're not going to come back to him at all.
But I'm glad he was in 3 in total, probably.
Yeah, he was in episode 2, 5, and 6.
The last one,
yeah.
And yeah, him talking about like what happened to him and straight to Sam, and it was like, they would never let a black man be Captain America and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I like that, because it gives Sam like another reason to be hesitant and like kind of cautious of like what that shield could mean to people, you know?
It's the Obama storyline.
I also feel like, though, with Sam's development, is like he's hearing all this stuff telling him to not be it, and then he ends up doing it anyway. And I feel like if we could have had maybe an extra scene or there, or maybe some extra conversation, because then he just kind of like, alright, he takes the Wakandan suit and then he saves the day anyway, even though he's being told by many people, like, black man being Captain America, it's just never going to work.
Wakandan.
You know, so if he could have had some extra development there for him to justify why he's doing it, it's like, well, I want to prove to them, you know, that's kind of why he's doing it. And I guess that speech at the very end kind of gives that, but maybe before he puts on the suit, if he could have had something like, well, if we never do it, then we're always just going to be, you know, pushed down. And,
but I kind of feel like in the same episode, it's like the scene right after Isaiah Bradley says like, oh, they'll never let a black man be Captain America. You have that kind of training montage with Sam, which I'm pretty sure was supposed to be placed before his talk with Bucky, because
it's so
in the
funny.
training montage, he's like having a hard time throwing the shield and catching it. And then in the training montage, or I'm sorry, in the scene with Bucky, he's just talking and he's
easily.
like not even looking. He's like, yeah, yep, under the leg.
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't like it,
but yeah, I feel like in that scene where he's doing the training montage, after all that, they've got the shot of his nephews, and they're just like idolizing that shield and everything, you know, like tracing their finger along the star, and it's kind of like, well, this doesn't just mean something hurtful to everyone, you know, it means something more positive and hopeful to like a new generation and everything. So I kind of got that sense from like just that scene with the kids, just kind of like idolizing that shield and like playing with it, pretending that they're Captain America and everything too. So I feel like a lot of Sam's development is a little bit more subtle, because he isn't like actively challenged, I don't think, but it's more of like a lot more of like reflection on his part to like develop as a character.
It's been the whole reflection thing since the beginning. That's why he like gave the shield back to like the museum and whatnot. But I feel like towards the end he kind of realizes that if not him, like he kind of has to be the trailblazer.
He has to be the start, because if no one steps up and be's the first black Captain America, then who will? You know, so he wants to. He's like, I'll, you know, make a pathway.
Yeah.
You know.
Overall, I liked the show. I thought it was done pretty well. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than WandaVision, Because I feel like my issue with WandaVision, like the show started off really great, and then it just kind of fell apart at the end. And I feel like the show's kind of the opposite, where it has a bit of like a slower, weaker start, but it gets better as it goes on until like the final like John Walker twist. And
just generally, like there are points throughout the show where I feel like some of these feel like, oh, this is part of a movie, and then like a lot of it felt like, oh, this is a TV show. Like scenes like Bucky in Wakanda, or like Sam giving the shield to the museum felt like a post-credit scene.
Oh yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah,
overall tone, like a lot of it felt like a TV show. It's like, okay, yeah, this is the TV show, but then some of the stuff could easily fit into the movie.
I feel like Falcon and the Winter Soldier could have been a film. I feel like you could have condensed it pretty well into a movie.
True, but it also is 6 hours of content.
Yeah. Well, most of the 6 hours of which I really enjoyed.
I mean, a movie would have grossed more. It would have given more money.
Right.
But
you know what? That reminds me. For some reason, I don't know why you saying post credits reminds me, but for the final episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, just a little thing about Bucky. His story just so rushed through. It feels like, you gotta have Nakajima be like, oh, I know that you killed my son, and the end.
Oh yeah.
Like that happens so quick.
They set that up so well in the first episode.
Yeah.
They had like 2 things for Bucky for the entire.
That's the thing. That's why I felt like in the first episode he's with his therapist. He's hanging out with Yuri, the old man. He's talking to that girl, like all this stuff, all his loneliness and his PTSD. He wakes up on his floor in a nightmare.
Yeah,
I love that scene because he's waking up on his floor because his bed's too soft because of war stuff, and then his TV's on because he needs that white noise, and it's just a small detail, and they're setting that up so well. What am I gonna call? Okay.
Whoa, you're gonna phone call?
I keep getting 2 spam calls. Okay.
Cool.
But then it just kind of goes nowhere. And that's the thing about Marvel. They don't complete their character stories within a show. They're all waiting for the next one. That's the thing about Monica and WandaVision,
Right.
You think about Bucky in this. It's just like, and I get it. I get that it's a part of a bigger universe. But I feel like, we're owed these, like, endings, these, like...
Whenever you set up the arc.
Some closure.
Yeah. Especially for a TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like for a movie, if, like, Bucky had that in a film, you wouldn't just, like, be like, oh, we're gonna save this emotional closure for another film, or, just wrap it up in 2 seconds. If it were a movie, they'd devote the time to that. So, I feel like adding another 5 minutes onto this episode's runtime wouldn't have hurt it. Or not even 5 minutes. Just make it 2 minutes, just to, like, really let it sink with you. Yeah, marinate, yeah.
In the first episode... wasn't most of it just Sam's stuff, and then like near the end they like
there was
it jumps between them.
It jumps between them.
Yeah,
it was,
I'd say like
because he's going around. He's like, my name's James Buchanan Barnes, and I'm here to make amends and all that kind of stuff.
I'd say like 3/5 of the episode is Sam stuff, 2/5 is Bucky. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of close to even, but like Sam does have like a little bit of.
3/5 is Sam.
It's more juicy.
I'd say so.
Sam brings more juice.
Sam is
like,
3/5.
It feels like a cracker.
Yeah.
It feels like a cracker when we see Bucky Barnes on screen. Genuine.
I don't think anyone did get my joke.
3/5.
Oh,
3/5.
Oh.
Sam is 3/5. No. I don't think she's... Okay.
No, I don't think I do get it.
Anyway, overall rating of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I'd rate it higher than WandaVision, which I think I gave WandaVision like a 7.5. So I'd give this like a... If I gave WandaVision a 7.5, I'd give this show a 7.8. Or I'll give it an 8. Oh no, it's a...
I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it...
Bucky arms out of 10.
8 Bucky arms out of 10, okay.
I feel like with WandaVision it brings more to the table and like more like world building. And it's like more approachable to people who like don't give a shit about most Marvel stuff because it has like that whole like sitcom aspect and it's like a gimmick.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun show, and I feel like it's like Falcon Winter Soldier is less approachable because it's just like these characters. That
you kind of have to know like the characters' backstory, what happened to Captain America in Endgame, and
that's another thing. Like with WandaVision, a lot of people who had never watched anything Marvel were watching WandaVision. Yeah. First. Yeah. Because it was a trend. And they wanted to get into it, which I was like, how do you understand this, first of all? But you can't do the same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. You can't just like start watching that. Yeah. Which is, But yeah, What do you rate it?
I'd give it a 8.
I'd give it an 8 too.
I'd give it I'm trying to think of a goofy like measurement because you give it 8 Bucky arms.
Is it 8?
I give it 8
shields.
Zemo dancing out of 10.
Yeah.
6 feels right.
6, really?
A 6? Okay.
Yeah, 6 feels right. If WandaVision's like an 8 because of like general audiences, like an 8-ish.
Yeah, okay. I can see what you're coming from.
I think it's like a 6.
Yeah. Okay.
And approachability.
But like, what's your goofy like out of whatever?
6.
Can you make it in Polish so that way we don't even know, but like our Polish audience will know what you're saying?
Ja to dam 6 wnuki od Sam od 10.
Something about Sam.
Something about Sam.
Do you want the translation?
No, okay. I want this to live in mystery. You know.
See if you have any Polish fans.
Yeah.
I'll be your Poland ambassador for your fans.
Ah, sweet legitness.
Right, so now to talk about.
I started watching this series before you. I watched the first 3 episodes whenever it came out because I was intrigued by the show. I follow Greg Miller on Twitter, who used to be part of IGN, and now he does kind of funny games.
Fuck IGN.
Yeah, but Greg Miller has always been cool. And so,
well, that was you.
I got a call too.
So I guess Invincible was Greg Miller's favorite comic of all time, and so he had been tweeting about like how excited he was for the TV series and everything like that. And so I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I knew the name, but I never really knew what it was about. I just knew that Robert Kirkman made it, and I thought like, oh, okay, this is like his superhero comic book that he made while doing The Walking Dead. And I figured with it being superhero, like, okay, maybe this is for the younger audiences to kind of hop into. And I watched episode 1 and I'm like, okay, this is kind of fitting that boat. Yeah. You know, this is fitting the idea of like kind of bringing like a younger audience that
basic
can't really
superhero story.
You know, father, son, like learning to like figure out the son's powers and everything like that. You know, just really light, simple stuff. Kind of familiar waters, and then Omni-Man freaking squishes Red.
He was my favorite character right off the bat, too.
Red Rush, that was his
just
name.
The Flash.
Yeah.
I can pinpoint like every character that it's based off
It's
of.
obviously parodying DC.
Yeah, which I thought that was fun. Yeah, so the last 5 minutes of episode 1, which is just the post-credit scene, I think, which is amazing, completely flips a switch, and after that I was hooked. And I watched the next 2 episodes instantly, and I had to wait a week for episode 4 to come out, and that was miserable.
True, I was like, well, what I saw a clip on TikTok of the that scene.
Yeah,
that
where he's going up the stairs.
And I was like, this is funny. What is this? And so I wanted to watch it. And so then I knew nothing about it either. And then as you're watching the first episode, I was like, this is fine.
Yep.
And then the ending, and then I was like, okay, now I'm
interested. Yeah.
I like the animated superhero shows because this was just like bloody Young Justice.
Yeah.
Art style so similar.
Pretty much. Yeah, they kind of have a similar look to them visually.
Yeah.
But man, freaking. Can you imagine for Red Rush, who says like every minute is like hours for him, and he's just like, I'm sure in that instant, because like I'm sure he's punching Omni-Man like super duper like fast and everything, so Omni-Man in real time probably just like to his head. But that had to like felt like it lasted forever and ever, man. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently in the comics he like just kills them. They don't really put up much of a fight. So in the show they kind of make it to where like, oh okay, they put up more of a fight, and they're like, oh, why is he doing this? Let's try to detain him first and whatnot, make it more dynamic, which I think is cool. From what I understand, the series is very accurate to the comics. It's just that they take like the episodes are just events from the comics reshuffled chronologically, essentially, just to make it a little bit more fluid, which cool. I feel like it worked for the most part.
Yeah.
What's cool is J.K. Simmons has now been a part of 3 different comic adaptations from
Marvel,
3 different comics.
Marvel is J. Jonah Jameson, DC for Commissioner Gordon, Jim Swole Gordon, because that dude got ripped for Justice League for no reason. I don't know why.
Really?
Oh, have you not seen the pictures of J.K. Simmons ripped?
No.
Oh my god, hold on a second.
It was like him at the gym.
It's insane.
Why did he get ripped for that role?
Because everyone has to be ripped in a Zack Snyder movie.
Getting ripped from movies ruins people's lives.
Yeah, a little bit. That's why Hugh Jackman had to stop. Yeah, here it is. He's like...
I remember this. I remember when it came out.
He looks like fucking Kratos from God of War. And again, I don't know why. Because you don't see him without the trench coat on. But anyway, so yeah, J. Jonah Jameson, Commissioner Gordon, now Omni-Man from Image Comics.
And he did great as Omni-Man.
He was my favorite character in the entire show. Like, just based off of performance. I mean, Steven Yeun and Sandra Oh all did an amazing job as Mark Grayson, the main, the main character of... And then Sandra Oh as his mom, Debbie, which I feel like the three of them just really knock it out of the park. I feel like Zazie Beetz does good with the material that she has, but I hate Amber as a character.
She's so annoying. I liked her hair, but that's like...
Yeah, I like the hair too.
Yeah, her hair was cool.
She's very different in the comics. She's like typical, like, white blonde, like, popular girl looking character.
They Iris Wested her.
Yeah, like they complete radical redesign for the TV show.
Oh, really?
Which,
I didn't do that.
Like, I don't mind. I don't.
That's
like,
cool.
again, I didn't really have any
like
previous
Zazie
attachment.
Beetz.
Yeah, I like her too. And again, I like the performance. I just don't like the character's writing. Yeah. I feel like it just falls too much into the whole like, oh, I love you, but I don't love you. Oh, but I love you, but I'll give you another chance.
It's
but
just like pissed off GF because like where is BF?
Yeah, and that's like really the only thing that she's got to
At
her.
the little bit at the beginning of it, I was kind of like, okay, I can understand why she's a little pissed sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it just got too extreme. It's just, she doesn't even give a shit.
Mark, you weren't there to help feed homeless people at the soup kitchen. I'm so sorry that as... I got my intestines eviscerated from a giant freaking Thundercat.
What
that's
pisses
what
me
I was
off
thinking
so
of.
much is when he finally reveals it to her, and she just is like, I know. And it's just like,
If
and
you
you
knew.
still don't care?
Right?
And it's just like, okay, now I have no sympathy.
Yeah, that's what like ruined it for me. Is like, okay, I can... It's getting annoying with how much that this is happening, but I can let it slide. But then she says that she knew for like weeks, and I'm like, hold...
And you didn't
And you're
care?
pissed?
You were upset that, like, Mark disappeared at the college to save William, his best friend, from getting ripped to pieces by a freaking cyborg.
She'd be mad
right in
either
front of
way.
you.
A gay cyborg at that.
A gay cyborg? Well, no, that one was Justin Roiland. The party dude,
when I heard his voice, I was like, wait a minute. This sounds like Rick
The
and
burps.
Morty.
Oh!
But yeah,
She would have been
Amber...
pissed either way, even if he hadn't like gone off, disappeared.
Yeah, like, what's gonna happen then? Oh, I know you're invincible. Go do something. Okay. Well, you were invincible and you left us. Fuck you. Why?
Yeah.
It
her
makes
character.
no sense.
I don't know. I don't really know what they were going for. Were they trying to make us hate her? Because they did a good job.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, did they want us to hate like
Yeah.
what Mark Grayson's like only outside thing going on?
Yeah, like his only like human connection essentially, because I like William, but I feel like he's not very present enough to like the last couple episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how chill what's her name? Redhead girl.
Oh, Adam Eve.
Yeah, I like how chill she was with just like finding out he had a girlfriend.
Yeah, like she was.
Oh yeah, she just...
I liked her character a lot. I wish
Yeah.
that she was in it a little bit more.
She was really good. Every time it cut to her and her little oasis, I was like, she's living her best life.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Honestly.
that was so nice. Like that's exactly what I would do.
No, I have a friend from Canada. Her name's Cora, and she walked in on her brother watching this show, and she saw Adam Eve on the screen. And so in the comics, Adam Eve, you know, like she has the like the feminine insignia.
Symbol, yeah.
Yeah, and so in the comics, it has an atom on top of that, you know, like the Jimmy Neutron atom. But in the TV show, I guess because it'd be a pain in the ass to draw like those loops for the atom from like different angles of like movement and everything, they just make it an X. So she walked into the room, saw the character, and she's like, what the hell is her superpower, being anti-feminist?
Oh my god.
I didn't even notice it was just an X until like she pointed that out, and so... Yeah, but it's just an X on top of the female insignia, so yeah.
Yeah.
Like her name's cool.
Yeah, she's a good character. I like her throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
She made sense. She was
yeah,
just chill.
she was
very chill.
Yeah, she was. She made sense. It's like...
Got fucked over by Rex Splode.
Fuck
What'd you think of that
guy.
character?
Fuck
I don't
that
like him.
guy.
He is annoying as shit, but I enjoyed not liking him.
He reminded me... His, like, banter with everyone reminded me of Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost a little bit, like, too full of himself.
Right,
Oh,
I could see that.
It was gross. I like didn't see it at all with Monster Girl like having any kind of appreciation for Explode because like that's my Robot.
Yeah.
That was gross. Robot was my favorite character though.
Oh, yeah, you didn't like the whole, like,
Yeah.
cloning him to be with
Well,
her situation?
Yeah.
You find it gross. When I was thinking about it afterwards, I was like, oh. But then again, Monster's a 24-year-old girl in a child's body, and now Robot's like a 34-year-old being, and now a child's body. So they're really not that.
And also, like he was more or less constrained in that tube of liquids to keep himself alive, while he kind of like emoted and acted out like telepathically through the robot body and everything. But
it is a little.
It was weird whenever I watched it because I'm like,
because then Monster Girl's like, you did this for me, and she's not even really appreciative.
Yeah. Of it. Well, I mean, like they're like, oh, that's weird. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad. Weird. And he's I'm glad that they're acknowledging
Robot's
this.
like, what? I meant to.
Yeah.
Like, if you do the math, it's like okay, sure, but it's still like really gross if you like just like
think about it. Yeah, just like look at it. It's like really weird and off-putting because it feels like some sort of like child predator sort of situation. I was thinking the same thing.
Because they're like 6 years apart, like 20 something versus a 30. Like, yeah, that's like a normal relationship.
Yeah.
But like, he's been an adult for much of his life, and like she keeps reverting back and back, and it's like,
well like mentally she's still an adult and everything, but like whenever she's like a baby,
she even says that. She says like,
relationships.
She says relationships are tough. It's either
predators
or 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
So so it's like, and the more she does her power, the younger she's gonna get.
Right. Which is something that I like because like this show shows off like the typical powers that you've seen like everywhere else, but they're done in an interesting way. You know, like Monster Girl being like the Hulk, but oh, what if there was like this like terrible repercussion for every time that you turned into the Hulk and everything like that, you know?
Yeah.
Rexplode is pretty much Gambit, but you know, they make him like interesting and whatnot as a character.
Yeah,
so they do some like interesting stuff with the powers, which I think is really neat. You know, whenever it comes to like blowing people's heads up and, you know, slamming a fish dude's noggin with a war hammer.
I liked when it was like the whole like reveal that he was cheating on Adam Eve, and like
like
the
four
duplicates come out of the shower.
Whack.
Wow.
Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
But
Go explode.
One other thing I was. Oh yeah. This show does like, I don't know. The thing about it is like all these like side quests that Mark goes on.
Yeah.
Pretty much almost every other episode, there's something that he has to do. And it just feels like all of it's really good, but like
it just kind of feels like a Monster of the Week situation.
Oh yeah. Go to Mars, and then oh no, one of them gets left behind.
Right.
And that leads nowhere. And it just
season 2, season 2 or 3.
But it really felt like they were relying on that.
Yeah.
And I kind of hate when shows rely on something next.
Well, I like the fact that the guy who like when Mark had to go into space to fight that one guy, but he was just coming to check up on Earth.
Oh, Alan the alien.
Yeah, I like that.
Seth Rogen.
He came back.
It's Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that was Seth Rogen.
I like that.
Yeah. See, Seth Rogen helped create the show.
Oh, really?
Is what happened. He's also making a movie as well, which is weird because both the TV show and the film are in production at the same time, except the show made it out first.
Film?
Yeah, like a live action adaptation of it.
They're making a live action film?
Which I think would be really cool.
Who's gonna play?
I've got no clue, but it's interesting because
okay. Maybe that's why I've seen so many on TikTok. They're making fan casts. I thought they were just
probably
fun
it.
with
Yeah,
it.
I feel like John Hamm would be a really good
is what people have been saying.
Yeah,
and John Hamm looks like incredibly accurate.
He'd be perfect for that.
I think that would work. Or like
I feel like
Henry
just getting
Cavill probably can't. Like he probably.
It'd be cool if they got Henry Cavill to play him though.
Like
that'd be.
But he probably
and
can't.
we finally get the mustache Superman.
That's funny.
But he probably can't because he has like a contract already with a different superhero.
Right. Well, I don't know if that contract is still valid because DC is doing the J.J. Abrams Black Superman
revamp.
Yeah, which I'm perfectly fine with. My only issue is that they're making Clark Kent black. Not because, like, oh no, Clark Kent's black, but it's because you've got other prominent black Supermen, like Val Zod, or, I think the character's name is Calvin Harris. Either way, he's, like, President of the United States who happens to be Superman. Essentially, like, oh, what if Obama was Superman? I think is kind of the idea that they came up with. But, like, they're just making Clark Kent black because Warner Brothers is trying so hard to show, like, oh, we're not racist after the whole thing with Ray Fisher happened on Justice League. You know, and it's like, okay, but, like, write for a black Superman if you want, like, that representation in there. Why are you giving a, like, why are you giving a black person just the white man role, you know, because you feel like that's the only important one? That's what doesn't sit right with me is...
I haven't heard about this. So are they just, like, having the same storyline of, like, he crashed into farmland and, like...
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Well, why not, like, give the proper storyline of, like, one of the black Supermen?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's, like, why it doesn't sit right with me, because it's like, why are we just making...
the only change you're giving is the race.
Yeah. Exactly. It's kind of like making Peter Parker black, which, again, just not the biggest issue. Yes, but exactly.
Interesting stuff.
Exactly. Different character, you know, and you're exposing that character to a much more general audience who would have never even heard of these characters and everything, you know?
There's, like, Chinese Superman, and he has, like, this cool insignia.
Yeah, like, there's so much stuff that you can do with it, but instead they're just race-swapping Clark Kent. Instead of just writing for a more interesting character that would be better suited for that, you know? It's just weird. It's just like Warner Brothers is trying so hard to be like, oh, we're not racist, but they're just coming off as incredibly tone deaf.
I feel like Henry Cavill might be casted by Marvel soon, though.
You think so?
I feel like a lot of people want him to play Hercules.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be kind of cool.
Imagine him and Thor next to each other.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Anyways.
I don't know, I really want him to be Omni-Man. I think that'd be freaking awesome.
But yeah, but if... I didn't no idea they were doing a live action one. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I am thoroughly excited for that. Because I think the movie was in production before the TV show was, and then like, oh, well, let's do a TV show. And then, you know, with the popularity of the show, they're like, okay, maybe a movie would be more feasible because, like, producers are going to see, like, you know, there is a desire to see this in live action, you know? And I feel like any of my issues with Season 1 of Invincible could easily be, like, just swept under the rug for exchange of a 2.5-hour runtime.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like the best parts of Season 1 can be condensed into a 2-hour film.
Sure.
What do you think of, like, the 1-hour episodes?
Well, they're more like 45 minutes.
Well, yeah, but
yeah.
Yeah, the longer episodes, yeah.
I mean, they're good.
I was glad that we had those longer episodes, because it felt like each episode was like... I
thought they were all like 45 minutes.
Yes, everyone is 45 minutes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought even like...
Yeah.
Nah.
And like so, yeah, I mean, I liked it being long.
I felt like it just gave you, like, more of a sense, like, this is telling a story, rather this is, like, just another adventure in, like, an episodic series or something.
Yeah.
So, I did enjoy that, like, each episode was 45 minutes. Another thing I enjoyed, there's not 8 minutes of credits.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's literally like, okay, here's, like, a little, prologue to the episode, and then someone says... And then, you know, it's the rest of the episode, and then, like, 2 or 3 minutes of credits, and then there you go, you're good.
What I do like is that they've left it out in the open now for a season 2, which they've already confirmed season 2 and 3.
And
right?
3, yeah.
Which is cool. My only thing is, like, okay, Omni-Man is gone. Now, that's going to open up a season 2. We're going to see Omni-Man again.
Yes.
That can work, but unless Omni-Man dies in season 2, I don't really see it, like, working out for season 3, because then you're just going to be like, you know... Carry on this story.
Because I feel like the heart... Because so far, the heart of the show is, like, Mark's relationship with his dad.
Yes.
Because, I mean, the entire show, he's talking about, like... Or even in the first episode, he's talking like, oh, well, I want to be like you. I want to be as good as you and everything. Da-da-da-da. And all that's getting tested in that final episode where his dad is just like, everything's inferior. Nothing matters. Everyone's going to die.
Think, Mark.
Think, Mark. Think!
And then they brought back, like... I think they, like, overlaid the audio of Mark being like, I want to be just like you.
Yes, whenever he's looking at the portrait of his dad before he just slams it down.
Yeah, and then it's like, you're thinking about, like, well, Omni-Man is this guy, and you want to be like him. Like, ooh.
Right.
But yeah, that's my thing. Like, now that he flew off into space, that's the last time we saw him, we're going to see him again in the second season. And
don't give up.
There's going to be something happening. But it's my only thing is, like, if they come and have these talks and fights and all this, what, and then he just leaves again, or is just left at a cliffhanger or whatnot, I just feel like how can you make a whole nother season with it without one of them dying or some sort of resolution?
Yeah.
Because there's no, I do not see them coming to terms with each other at this point.
Omni-Man
so like,
feels
Omni-Man has to die.
He feels like unkillable. Like they kind of try to everything explosives.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I feel like the only one who really got much of a scratch in was that Immortal dude whenever he tried gouging out Omni-Man's eyes.
Yeah.
I feel like Immortal,
What happened?
I think, well, he
got
died
split in
again.
half, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
he does sort of, he falls for sort of the same trick that Omni-Man throws at him in the first episode where he puts his fist through him.
Yeah.
Except this time he just like proceeds to like just rip him in half. After that,
Immortal was kind of a parody of Wolverine in a way.
Yeah.
I can kind of see it visually, but I'm not.
You can like.
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure who he'd be.
You can pinpoint every character.
Yeah.
Could be another one.
Yeah.
Like Green Ghost is just Martian
Manhunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all really cool to see, like, parodies of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the different storylines from, like...
I will say, this series has got me very interested in picking up the comics, though, and just, like, reading where that's gonna go. Because I know the comics don't, like, last forever. I mean, I did have a kind of a lengthy run. It was, like, 144 issues, if I remember right. Ran from, like, 2003 to 2017, I think.
Yeah.
So, ran over a decade and whatnot, but... I mean, yeah, for comics, that's not very long at all. No. Especially considering, like, you release a new issue every month and whatnot. Yeah. But, so I am intrigued of picking up the comics and seeing.
What I would have liked more, and it's just a small detail. You know how the opening scene is just this random guy?
Yeah, the cop and talking about his son and everything, yeah.
About his son. And then the opening to the second episode is that same guy with his son in like London or wherever.
Yeah.
And then the trash bag that Mark threw.
Whenever he found his powers.
Hits them. Yeah. That's the last time we see them. What I would have liked better.
Well, actually, no. We do see the son later. They're the ones who dig up the Immortal's body.
Really?
Do they? Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. The son and then one of his friends are digging up, and the son is like, "Are you sure? Like, my dad doesn't want me to slip up or something like that." And so they are the ones who dig up the body that with the Mallard twins, something like that. They come and pick the body up from them, and they're like, "Yo, we gonna start blasting if you don't get on out of here." And so So
why are they just digging up the body randomly?
Because his friend was like, "Oh, if you like drink from the blood of the Immortal or something like that, then you get his superpowers or something." And his friend was like, "Are you sure?" Or the kid from
I can't
it's gotta be so gross by them. Though.
Yeah, he's like saying something like, "Oh, are you sure we should be doing this? Where'd you even read about this anyway?" And his friend is like, "Reddit."
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, but well, in general, I think it would have been cool to have like a just a subtle underlining little plot story with the dad and his son.
Yeah,
cool
just to make him like pop up a little bit more often.
Yeah, because otherwise, I think it's like if you're it's fine to have that opening scene and then it go nowhere.
Yeah.
But then if you bring them back again once, then I'm expecting something.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe just have the one scene in that scene.
Right.
Otherwise, don't have anything else.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. But I think it was cool that like the trash can hit them or the trash bag hit them.
Yeah, I didn't even know that till you told me about that.
Because he's like, do they have Burger Mart here? And they're in the UK. So,
yeah.
So I think that's cool.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the show. Every episode every week I was just looking forward to the next one to drop. So I was pretty pumped for that.
We got to watch it.
We've been
whenever.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Started all after me, so you didn't have to suffer through like freaking 5 weeks of waiting.
We just kept putting it off because I don't remember what were we watching.
Oh, because our Amazon was messing up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like when all those people died, like on the train, or like any other scene where... Wasn't it in Chicago?
Yes, it was in Chicago, actually.
Look at that. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Any scene where it was like killing mass amounts of people was like, wow, that puts stuff in perspective.
Yeah, because usually...
I live there.
Oh, yeah.
Mom.
Ferris Bueller died on that train.
In the superhero stuff, like, they always save the day. They always save the day. There's
Yeah.
very rare moments where we see where they don't save the day.
Genocide.
You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, you have, like, example in Captain America Civil War, you see when Wanda, like, you know, kills a bunch of people by accident, like that kind of stuff. But like that's very rare. We don't get to see that a bunch in superhero
Or
movies.
the Hulk, like in security footage, jumps on a building during the Battle of New York, and some rubble just drops on someone holding their phone underneath.
Yeah, we barely get to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and they usually always save the day. But in this,
he so
can't.
Shocking.
He can't. Like this building, like the scene. Well, the train scene's amazing.
Yeah.
But the scene where he's holding the mom. And he's holding the building,
yeah,
and it all falls on him, and then he's just holding the arm,
like
just is like he can't do anything. And that's
yeah.
Assuredly, someone on that train must have survived, though, right? Like
I'm
people
sure.
off to the side, right?
Well, wasn't there a dude who like lived, and then Omni-Man just stepped on his head in the subway wreckage? Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. God, so yeah.
Which like freaking how nonchalant he is about killing all these people. Like the pilot who Mark saves or whatever. He's like, oh man, I totally would have been dead if it weren't for you. And Omni-Man just pops up behind him, perfect timing, just...
Yep.
That's what, like, at first, you know, well, obviously when he starts to explain to Mark what he's doing, you know, I've already started to hate him. But, like, I was still, like, holding on to him, like, okay. And then once he just, like, kills that pilot and for no reason, I'm just like, I don't give a shit.
Other than just to make Mark feel inferior about, like, trying to save people.
Yeah. It's because you remember, like, all the times where it's like, well, we're a superhero saving people.
Yeah.
So, like, what was all that for?
Yeah.
That was just a farce.
Right.
And then when he's like, don't you care about Mom? He's like, Mom, I love your mom.
She's more of a pet
to me.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
That scene is the equivalent to Star-Lord and Ego.
Yeah. Oh, how I loved her.
I loved your mom. Too bad I had to put that tumor in her brain.
Yeah, it pained me to put that tumor in her brain.
Like,
yeah.
What? And so it's like a very similar. Like,
now I know that sounds bad.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was wow.
But no, that entire last episode I think was absolutely wonderful. Freaking fantastic. And it's just sad. You know, Mark's trying his best to...
Oh, the flashback scene.
The flashback, yeah. His dad noticing, like, he's missing his front teeth and everything, and that makes him think about Mark as a kid and whatnot. Oh, yeah. Like, that was good. My mom watched the final episode with me, and she was just bawling her eyes out whenever that flashback started.
Mommy relatable. Well, also, like, the little mini speech that Mark's mom gives to Omni-Man when they were, like, having their little kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Of her being like, I taught you everything you know about the human race and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like, you still only see her as, like, a pet. That's crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Like, she was your, like, leader for a good while.
Right.
20 years together.
What's another 17 years?
That, oh my god.
That's funny, because I had heard that audio on TikTok for like the longest time, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know that it was part of this show, and I was watching Invincible at the same time. Yeah. And I guess I just didn't recognize J.K. Simmons, but like I heard that audio, and then I watched the episode. I was like, oh, that's what that's from.
What that's from.
Like,
fine. What's another 17 years? Just try again.
Yeah, when you learn that they live for so long, it's like.
Oh yeah.
How many times has he done this then?
Yeah, like
it does remind me of the Ego thing, because what Ego did in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is he tries to have a kid with every different type of life form to somehow
make another one of him,
celestial being, and you know that's why there's that big mountain of skulls.
Yeah, of different races,
and it's just like. How many times has he done this? He's been trying so hard, and he's like, he has no sympathy. So, honestly, it just feels like, at the same time, Omni-Man could be doing the same thing. We just don't, what if, that'd be cool to dive into and see. Yeah. Find out that, like, Mark isn't the first, Mark has siblings. Right. He has half-brothers and sisters. He's not the only one.
It feels like Mark should have, like, a little sister or something. It feels like something he would have.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So.
What do we rate Invincible?
I really enjoyed the hell out of this one. I'd give it like an 8.5. 8.5 eviscerated intestines out of 10. Maybe an 8.7.
I was about to say an 8.7, or I'll give it a. Yeah, I'll give it an 8.8 Red Rush skulls out of 10.
This has to be like the most goriest, like, out of now. Lexi, in Polish, what's your rating?
I'm trying to think of something to rate it.
This is always the hardest part of the real talks, is figuring out the ha-has. Hey, Kat, you're not a part of this. Shut up. You got this. I believe in you.
Ja to dam 8 kostiumy z 10.
I heard costumes.
Yeah, costumes. That was cool, because also, like, where are you getting these materials from? They don't rip or anything.
Oh yeah, I like the guy.
Yeah, Mark Hamill voiced him.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to kill him off.
I was very scared about that too. Yeah, I was very worried about the Taylor's well-being in those last few episodes.
Yeah, I even liked, like, because he's known Omni-Man for forever.
Yeah.
So, like, he's even having some, like, grief and, like, you know, like, what is he?
Yeah, he's got the picture of them, like, where they just went fishing or whatever.
Like, I get, like, oh, you're grieving, you're going to throw the picture away. I would keep that for novelty's sake.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I could eBay this somewhere.
I know this terrorist.
Anyways, real talk.
Yeah. So that was Real Talk episode. What episode was this? I could find out real quick.
Thank you for watching. We love superheroes.
We do.
I could talk for hours about DC. I'm tired of Marvel. I'm so sorry.
Damn, Lexi.
Cut.
I don't wanna. Snyder Cut's like I've been waiting for so long to watch it. It's like I get it. I don't know. It was much better, but we're not gonna.
Real Talk episode 6. That's what this is. Episode 5 was JT and I's discussion on Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
But I'm always down to make another. Maybe we hit the 4-hour mark with this one.
No. Anyways.
Yeah. So Real Talk. That's it. Buy merchandise from us. We have these.
Not Bo Burnham's shirt.
Yeah, not Bo Burnham. We don't.
You can't sell it.
He doesn't endorse us, so I don't give a shit. He made 8th grade though, which was pretty good. But buy our merch and buy Arizona tea. This is the iced tea with lemon flavor. So that's what I'm getting. Buy that so that way they can sponsor us maybe, and we can do fun things like not starve to death.
$9.99.
That's how much she bought her phone for. It's quite insane. I was like, what? So yeah, Real Talk. We'll talk real with you next time. Hey, that doesn't sound like too bad of an outro.
Flat cat. Flat cat.
Cat on the floor being all flat and stuff.
Is your cat pick-upable?
Yeah, you can lift him.
Enchilada.
Like.
I guess we're getting the cat in the frame real quick.
Like, comment.
Hold on, Kate and Kirby. The cat's got to be in frame one time with Lexi.
This is a fat cat.
That is a very chonkers cat.
Marcel's chonkers.
Like,
here, get him in the camera frame. Get him in the camera frame.
Rest in peace, Christian J's cat.
This little Bastito.
Like, comment.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Wait, get the cat paw.
Oh, okay.
With the cat paw.
With the cat paw? Okay.
Let's see if I can grab it.
Like, comment, subscribe. Just bonk his head. Bye.
This cat is very pick-upable.
Hey guys, just want to wish our Patreon producers a super special thank you. Anaiah Belk, Alyssa Ward, Charlotte Howard Check, Diego Aguilar, MWell31, Rehird Shan, and Rmile. Be sure to follow us over on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. And if you'd like to see SpongeBob remakes more often and support the channel, be sure to check us out over on Patreon. We also have merchandise over on Teespring. Whoop-de-frickin' do! Everything will be linked in the description down below.